Hey, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Shasti. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, TV shows, animes, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. So before we get into this unplanned video, so you know we about to rant, I tempted to do a double cut crease because I want to get good at it. I see other girls do it, I want to do it. It came out really great. I think on this side, I think this side, like, it's perfect. We're not going to talk about what happened over here, okay? So move past that. Just don't say nothing, don't ask no questions, just know, just think about this side and how good this side came out. Two, I started doing this thing with my blush where like I put it on my nose, so that's why my nose kind of looks red. I think that looks good. I think that looks really cute. Um, don't look over here. But yeah, I used my Juvia's Place. Which one did I use? I think I used the Berries palette. Yeah, I think I did. That's one of my favorite ones because I just enjoy having pink eyes. Like, that's just what it is. So on Friday, Love Alarm season 2 came out, and we've been, those of us who are K-drama fans and you like Love Alarms, we've been waiting for 2 years because season 1 had came out. Yes, you heard me right, season 1. K-drama, if you don't know how K-dramas work, they don't do second seasons. K-dramas are one season, between 16, 20 episodes, 20 something. That's usually how they go. They don't usually have multiple seasons. Now, there's probably outliers in that, but for the most part, the standard is one season, about 45 to an hour long episodes, 16 to 25. Love Alarm is also based on a webtoon of the same name. Now, like I said, season 1 came out in 2019. I was under the impression, I don't know why I assumed this, I guess I expect too much on Netflix, that they had filmed the entirety of it and had just decided to split up into 2 parts. That's not what they did. They filmed one season, left us on a major cliffhanger, and then they were supposed to film in 2020, but then, Rona happened, so that was postponed. And now, because it was supposed to like film in 2020 and then be out the end of that summer, but instead they couldn't do that, and then the season came out in 2021, aka Friday of this March. So because there was a 2 year gap, wow, son, thanks for disappearing. Fans, there's a lot of anticipation for the season. We went into the season really excited. I know I did. I have been talking about season 2 of Love Alarm for like a year and a half now, right? And because it left us at a major cliffhanger, people were wondering if they were going to follow in the original webtoon, were they going to do it different? Because it was looking like they weren't going to follow the original plan of the webtoon. So we get this 2 year gap, and then I don't. This is why I hate with Netflix. They don't promote things well enough because I had accidentally found out just like 2 weeks ago that season 2 was coming out because I happened to go look at my coming soon. I usually check it out like once a month to see what's coming out, and that's how I found out about that. Also, that's how I found out that we're getting a second season of Be the Beginning. Again, didn't nobody tell me that. I will definitely review season 2 of the anime Be the Beginning once that comes out. That's the point of this video. But yeah. So we find out it's coming out. I'm super excited. Friday comes. I don't watch it Friday. I had a lot of things to do on Friday, and I ended up watching it yesterday. And before we get into this video, because my video is not really, I'm not gonna really review this season, because I feel like we can all agree this season was bad. Spoiler alerts, this was a bad season. It was not good. Because again, I'm a big part of fandom culture. I've made a video about that before. I wanted to see how everyone else was feeling, and I realized my feelings about the show, though like we all agree this was not a good season, my feelings are vastly different from everyone else's. I kind of just want to talk to you guys about it because I don't have anyone else to give my unsolicited opinions to. So where I think they really like messed up this season is the fact that Hyun is supposed to be our male lead this season. So like, if I assume if you're watching this video, you've seen Love Long. But if you're not and you're just here because you like me, hey, hi. So in season 1, we have 3 main characters. We have Sunho, and at that time of season 1, he was our main dude. We were rooting for him and Jojo to be together. Jojo is our main girl. And then we have Hyun, who is Sunho's best friend and is also in love with Jojo. And that's pretty much his entire personality. His personality is that he's in love with Jojo, and he can't get her to fall in love with him. He was not an actual character season 1. So season 2, they were trying to build a person, and that is so difficult to do when we're on season 2 of a show. You can't make a character when there's no groundwork. And they tried to do this like subplot with like his dad being in prison for murder, and like him not knowing if he's really a good person or not. That kind of fell flat because it was like maybe at the most 5 scenes, and it happened and then it was gone and we didn't talk about it anymore. So like we have Hyun, who was supposed to be our new male lead, who was a bare bones of a person. We have Sunho being, listen, I know y'all are in the defense of Sunho. Personally, I found a lot of his behavior this season to be slightly manipulative, in particular when he shows up at JoJo's school and then he basically corners her and he out his mouth tells her, "Where are you going to go now?" Because before she had been ducking and dodging him, and now there's seemingly nowhere for her to go because he's cornered her at her school. It's a very public thing that's happening, and especially in Korean culture, she can't lash out at him if she even wanted to. I found that very manipulative because he knew she was going to have to speak to him now, as well as the fact that he is a well-known figure. People are recording them. If she wanted to slap him, she couldn't. If she wanted to yell at him, she couldn't. That's just me personally. I found that very manipulative. And now I was looking on Twitter and I was seeing in Tumblr, seeing how people react to the season. And we all agreed this was a bad season. But where we disagree is the reasons why it's bad and maybe how we feel about JoJo being with Hyun over Sunho. I'm gonna say this outright. I did not want JoJo to be with Sunho, but I also didn't want her to be with Hyun. I think again he is a bare bones character, but he is very nice. He's very sweet. But like he talks about how he likes to fix broken things, and we could just assume that's why he likes JoJo because she's very broken. Her parents killed themselves in like a mass suicide, as well as her she was living with her aunt and her cousin, very toxic and abusive to her emotionally, as well as she's also an artist and she would post her illustrations onto Instagram, and someone actually used them as inspirations for a mass of love alarm killings. So she's a broken girl and he's definitely with her because he wants to fix her, but he's also very kind and very sweet. And I also did not want her to be with him. I feel like JoJo could really use some therapy, some figuring herself out as a person. I don't think she needs a boyfriend. I don't think she needs to have somebody. I think she needs time to figure out who she is. So here's where I disagree with the camp that really wanted JoJo to be with Sunho. Sunho's lifestyle and JoJo's lifestyle are so vastly contradicting. It just simply was not going to work. Because I feel like y'all are only thinking short term and you're not thinking of how this relationship would progress. Sunho is in the limelight. Now, after everything, he is taking acting far much more seriously than he did before. And then his father is a politician. Okay? So he is going to be always in the limelight, always being talked about. And as well as I think we're not thinking about the fact that like how Korean media is. It is vicious, okay? Especially if you think about in the terms of, let's say, idols. A lot of idols have been so mercilessly attacked, and for the little shit. I forgot which female idol this was, but she got attacked for having her shirt unbuttoned, and people were slut shaming her. Like, when I say K-Nets attack, they attack. It is relentless. All right. JoJo, I love her. She weak. Sis is weak. She has barely a backbone, barely a spine. Right? You have a girl like her who does not like attention. She doesn't like people looking at her. She doesn't like people talking about her. A girl who, again, her parents were part of a mass suicide. Her illustrations were used as inspiration for a murder spree. The Korean media will eat JoJo the fuck up. There will be art. Think about like what happened with Meghan Markle, like that, where it's just mean article after mean article after mean article, and you're telling me that you believe JoJo could handle that. Do you honestly believe she could handle the whole world talking about her? When she couldn't handle people at her school whispering about her? Like, I could just imagine how her mental health would vastly deteriorate. They would end up breaking up regardless. If they ended up together, if we're being realistic, they would end up breaking up anyways because she wouldn't be able to handle the pressures of dating someone as public as he is. So that's where I'm like, y'all are really not thinking. When y'all say y'all wanted Sunho and JoJo together, you weren't putting any thought into it. You were not thinking about the longevity of the relationship. That's not possible because again, he is a public figure. His father is a politician, and that family already has a lot of skeletons in their closet, and a lot of things happening. Also, you want JoJo a part of that family? Like, we got to spend a lot of time with Sunho's mom this season. She's a terrible person in some ways. In other ways, she's very broken. But she is not the type of person that JoJo needs to be around. Like, are you? No, let's stop it. Again, I think a lot of you are just glossing over everything because you think the guy that the guy that plays Sunho is really cute. Because I'm like, your thinking caps are not on. And you're not thinking about the fact that he lives a very public life. Regardless of he is reluctant to be a part of it or not, he's still very public. He's a public figure. His father is running for offices and shit like that. JoJo could not sustain herself in that type of lifestyle. Very few people can really flourish in the public eye and not be brought down. And JoJo is not one of them. Because again, I find this so manipulative. When he showed up at her school and everyone had their phones out and everybody was recording her and she just ran. Like, and then like when she comes back to school and everyone is talking about her, like, she doesn't need that. She does not like that. She does not want that. But she would have to be subjugated to that if she and Sunho were dating. We have to think about both parties in the situation. Yes, he loves her and he wants her back. I still find that relationship not the healthiest because I feel like when they broke up, he gave up his life for 4 years. Like, he just simply stopped trying. That's not a healthy relationship. As if after you get out of it, you cannot function as a person anymore. It's much better for y'all not to be together. There is nothing okay and healthy about once you two break up, you give up on life. Personally, I really like the fact that she did not end up with Sunho. I think that's a great lesson for young people that, like, your first love isn't your only love. They're not going to be the only person you're ever going to love. They're not the only person you're ever going to be with. Yes, for some people, their first love might be your greatest love, but that was when you were in high school. Things were easier. Things were simpler. You didn't have jobs. You didn't have distance. There's so much that comes into relationships once you're an actual adult and people are working, people are in college, and people's schedules aren't just home and school, and you have the freedom of being a teenager and doing what you want. When you're working, you don't have the luxury to just skip out on things, right? And I feel like we see our first love with rose-colored glasses. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to us. But you were a teenager. What were you really going through? Now, some teenagers did go through a lot, but like your average teenager isn't going through crazy shit all the time. But you do go through a lot more as an adult, and you deal with more things. Things happen unexpectedly, and that really tests your relationship. And I feel like, again, we all don't end up with our first loves. We simply don't. And it's unfair, and it hurts. But sometimes it's supposed to be like that. You know, your first love taught you a lot. And I feel like I think they were going much like how the webtoon went for realism. I think this was going for realism. That, like, your first love isn't always right for you. Because I truly and honestly don't think, as adults, JoJo and Sunho don't belong together. Because, like I said, the lifestyles that JoJo wants to live and the lifestyle that Sunho lives, they clash. They clash greatly. And you have to understand that just because you love someone, that isn't always enough. Love isn't worth public ridicule. Love isn't worth being attacked by K-nets every day. Listen, Like, y'all fully don't understand how vicious Korean media is and Korean fans. It is bad over there, okay? And we've lost a few idols because of how much pressure and how mean, because it's different over there than it is over here. Where I feel like as American, you can kind of control a narrative if you want. Over there, it's not about that. It's a lot of reflection, a lot of self reflection, apologizing for things that you really shouldn't have to apologize for. I remember Mark from God 7, his name was brought up in something, and then it was found out that, like, it was disproven that, oh, he wasn't a part of it. But he still apologized to his fans for being part of something he actually was never a part. It was very weird and strange to see, but that's a common occurrence. It's just reflection and apologizing even when you actually haven't done anything wrong. You get what I mean? That type of media would eat JoJo alive. She has so many skeletons in her closet because, again, they would for a fact bring up the fact that her parents did a group suicide. They would definitely do that. And they would attack her for it day in and day out. Like, they don't let up over there. Like, Korean media, K-nets, they don't let up, especially because, like, it's a little bit different there, where it's like their search engine is not, they don't use Google. Sorry, Google is not their main search engine. Have another thing, and it shows you all the top, like, searches, and that's kind of how things travel very quickly in Korea, because you can see everything everyone is looking at all at once. So things like that travel very, very quickly. And I can just imagine the way that JoJo will be viciously attacked. And I don't want to see anyone attacked like that. All that said, this was still a bad season. Like, I think it makes it worse that we waited for 2 years. I think this is a great reason why webtoons don't need webtoons. Girl, I'm sorry, 'cause I was talking about the webtoon. Why K-dramas don't need a second season. We just do the 15 to 25 episode one season, and then we close the chapter, because I feel like season 2 feels completely disjointed from season 1, because season 1 ended with, like, her having to make a choice between Sunho and Hyun, and then, like, season 2, she's in college and her and Hyun are dating, and we have no clue what happened. Like, we never actually talk about, like, what happened, like, when, like, she's confronted by both of them. We just assume she chose Hyun then, and they've been dating ever since. That was weird. Another thing I want to mention is, like, people, when they talk about Sunho, I feel like we all forget that, like, the reason why he went after JoJo is because Hyun liked her. Like, I feel like I'm the only person that remembers this. That, like, in the earlier episodes, like, he went after her because his best friend liked her. Because Sunho is an asshole. Sunho is vindictive. Like, it's very strange to me that y'all are on the Sunho defense squad when, like, this all happened because he wanted to take JoJo from his best friend. And those of you who are like, you think Hyun is a bad person because he, like, cut off his friend once he got with JoJo, how can you be best friends with somebody who's obsessed with your significant other? Make that make sense to me. Because, again, after they broke up to this very point, he has been hung up over JoJo. So how can you hang out with your best friend? Because when you're with your friends, you want to talk about your significant other. You want to hang out with your friend, your significant other, with your friends. He can't do that. Sunho. Sunho is obsessed with JoJo. He's obsessed with her. It's very unhealthy, if we're being honest. So how can I hang out with my best friend knowing they want my significant other? And once Sunho was back in contact with JoJo, he made it very clear that he was not going to back down and he was still going to pursue her. While knowing she's dating his friend. That's what blows my shit. You're like, Hyun needs to be better friend to Sunho. Sunho wasn't being a good friend either, because, again, he literally went after her because his friend liked her. And he wanted, Like, I feel like we're confused and we don't. I know it's been 2 years. Like, it's been 2 years, and maybe a lot of you did not rewatch the show. But I'm like, he went after her, not because he liked her, but because he wanted to take her from his friend and make him fall in love with him. Like, Sunho wasn't a good friend to begin with either. So this weird defense squad y'all have after him is very weird and very strange to me. I think it's because y'all thought he's cuter, and that's why y'all are defending him like this. Because it doesn't make any sense. Because if we're gonna say that Hyun's a bad friend, we also have to admit the fact that again, Sunho only chased after her to take her. He didn't like her off bat. He realized his friend liked her. Cause I'm like, am I making this up? Because I'm like, I feel like that's what happened in season 1. But maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Like change. The sun has foiled me once again. But another thing I want to add is that like, if it wasn't for the Love Alarm app, JoJo and Sunho would never gotten together. Because a big part of their relationship even happening is because of the Love Alarm itself. That played a massive role in it, and I feel like as we can see, when JoJo got to make the choice without the alarm dictating this is who you love, this is how you feel. Again, they were allowing a machine to dictate their emotions and feelings like an algorithm could really understand love. But once she got the choice, because she put up the shield, but she chose Hyun. I genuinely do believe that Hyun is the better choice. I'm sorry if I'm looking weird. I don't know what to do right now. I'm confuzzled because I'm so close to the camera. But yeah, at the end of the day, she chose him, and she chose him for a reason. And I just feel like the idea that we're hung up on the fact that Sunho and JoJo were first loves. So what? Most of us don't end up with our first loves anyway. And I feel like very few people can stick together, and very few first loves stay together for the rest of their lives, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it. What did you guys think of season 2 of Love Alarm? Were you as upset and annoyed as I was, how everyone else was? Did you want JoJo to end up with Sunho, or did you want her to be with Hyun? What were your thoughts and opinions? Do you really think, if you do want Sunho and JoJo to be together, did you really think, like in terms of long term, with him being in the limelight, this relationship could actually work? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Wait, let me turn this way. The good cut crease.